Greetings. I am Father Jonathan, and today we delve deeply into the secrets behind NycosRPG. Today's session, Inside the Game Session. Those of you that are aware of the very insidious nature of role-playing games have always been curious about what truly happens behind those closed doors of the game session. Today, I, a veteran game master with more than 50 years behind the screen, now share with you the true secrets of what goes on within a game session. If you have not yet followed this channel, make sure you do so to get the deeper truths of roleplay games and what they mean for the future of our youth. Today's episode, Inside the Game Session. For those of you who have never been invited, the very process by which people are drawn into the dark, misunderstood world of roleplay games, we will be going through the very process, beginning with the initiation. A game player of any sort is susceptible to the random summoning that goes along with role-playing. This summoning is known as the initiation, where the individual is brought into the darker circle. This process includes the very concept of finding out precisely how deeply the would-be initiate already has been drawn. Typical initiation rituals include asking the following questions.
Excuse me, do you play role-playing games?
If they are that very bold. Or perhaps the more subtle.
So, do you play Risk?
Or perhaps an even more subtle approach.
I noticed you were reading Lord of the Rings. Are you interested in fantasy literature?
All of these processes are only the beginning as the initiate is invited to the game session. Phase 2, the gathering. On the appointed time, the players meet, gathering their numbers in the dark seclusion of the gameplay area. Usually devoid of any other sound than perhaps the ambient rhythms of a fantasy marketplace recorded from video. The individuals work through the process of getting to know one another again. Even if the time period has only been but 24 to 48 hours since their last session, nonetheless, the initiates and the veterans operate in small talk, often in code. Some examples of the early beginnings of the gathering would be,
So what did you do this week? Did you get to see Sala? She's hot.
Or perhaps the more insidious,
I really hope we get to fight a Minotaur. I really like Minotaurs.
the gathering usually only takes a few moments, but it can last up to 20 or 30 minutes if it becomes confused with other conversations, such as,
My sister had a really great encounter this last week on Tuesday when her group got together.
or
I would really like to see your character build for next week's game. I'm really excited about it.
As the group begins to prepare for the rituals, they bring forth the member berries. Even in regular life, players and veterans, as well as novices, will, from time to time, share the member berries together in a seeming ritualistic way. For example,
Hey, wasn't that encounter with the griffin kind of cool? Yeah, that was awesome. I really had a good time with that.
at the beginning of these game sessions, however, the member berries can be rather prolific, and at times the players may get virtually drunk upon the ideas. The member berries portion of the ritual can last between 20 minutes and an hour, with usually the game master, dungeon master, or storyteller having to invoke the dreaded phrase, "All right, let's get started." Woo. Once the preliminaries are out of the way, we move on to the engagement. This central portion of the game session can be quite intricate and serious, or perhaps it can be a bacchanalistic, ritualistic, and rather raucous fest of entertainment. In any fashion, the engagement draws in the players and provides them with the majority of what they desire from the session. This portion of the ritual can be extended many, many hours and generally leads to the crescendo. The game master, storyteller, or dungeon master has worked long and hard before the ritual to prepare for this rising action, raising the level of excitement to fever pitch, and perhaps in certain cases, eliminating members of the group as a part of the action. Finally, we get to the moment that they have all been waiting for, the ecstasy. In the final moments, the BBEG, or nemesis, or villain of the story, achieves his comeuppance and is brought down low in a moment of absolute joy as the players have achieved their objective and have reached the moment of ecstasy. When the moment of ecstasy is completed, finally the players begin the closing rituals. Generally, the closing rituals are slow and leisurely, but there are moments when it's fast, usually accompanied with certain terminology such as,
That's my ride. He's just getting off of work. I gotta go.
or
You're not serious. You're riding with your aunt? Oh my. Yeah, that's a horrible ride. Be careful.
or
Yeah, you guys gotta go. It's almost midnight and Mom's gonna be mad.
with the final member of the adventuring group departing, the adventuring session has ended, and thus we have completed our perusal of the inside of a game session. For more information on NycosRPG, check out NycosRPG.com, and of course, like and follow for more videos, some of them perhaps as silly as this one.